We've got some breaking news right now from Robinhood. Want to get straight over to Kate Rooney, who joins us this morning. What's going on?
Andrew, good morning. So the SEC is now dropping its investigation into Robinhood over its cryptocurrency business. The brokerage firm just saying that the agency sent a letter last week explaining that it had concluded its investigation and does not intend to move forward with an enforcement action. This does follow a Wells notice that was sent to the trading firm in May of last year. Those typically inform a company or a person that they are under investigation, and they tend to come before a lawsuit. Robinhood's chief legal officer, Dan Gallagher, who was also a former SEC commissioner, saying in a statement this morning that, quote, "We applaud the staff's decision to close this investigation with no action." And he says this investigation never should have been opened. Robinhood Crypto, he says, always has, always will respect federal securities laws and never allowed transactions in securities. He also goes on to say, as we explained to the SEC, any case against Robinhood Crypto would have failed. He says, we appreciate the formal closing of this investigation, and we are happy to see a return to the rule of law and commitment to fairness at the SEC. This is, guys, the latest win for major cryptocurrency companies in this new administration. Many backed Trump's campaigns, and you're seeing a lighter regulatory touch here. Companies had a pretty tense relationship, to put it lightly, with the former SEC chair under Biden, Gary Gensler. Many complained of what they called regulation by enforcement instead of the agency setting any type of clear rules or guidelines. It does follow the big news, guys, last week with the SEC dropping its lawsuit against Coinbase. And Brian Armstrong talked about that with you guys. Crypto, it's becoming a bigger part of Robinhood's business as well. Crypto transactions were up about 700% when they last reported for the fourth quarter, at least. It was a huge driver of revenue in that quarter. Stock, last I checked, was up slightly, almost 3% pre-market, guys. Back to you.
Kate, so here's the complication, and I'm curious how you think about it. On one side, it may very well be that these enforcement cases and investigations were wrong-headed to begin with. That may be. I have no idea, right? And then on the other side, we're seeing that most of the crypto industry spent an extraordinary amount of money to get this new administration into office, which is now dropping these cases. And so there's sort of this very interesting question about the credibility, both of the initial decisions and what drove those, but also these decisions and what is driving them.
That's key context here. I mean, it's Coinbase especially. I think Robinhood was less active on the lobbying side, but Coinbase led this charge really against the former SEC. I mean, Gary Gensler really became an enemy of this entire industry. So I think there was also sort of this grassroots individual investor animosity towards the agency, which I think the Trump White House has sort of picked up on, not only from a fundraising perspective. You could see it as pay to play, and I think that would sort of raise eyebrows. But at the same time, I think there was this sentiment among individual retail investors that, call them securities or not, want access to these more speculative assets, meme coins in some cases, and they want their brokerage platform, Robinhood in this case, to be able to list them. So I think there is also the big picture political stuff, but a little bit of a grassroots sentiment side of this that is also worth taking a look at. Their big thing was, are these securities or not? And that rule goes back almost 100 years. So they were sort of fighting over this SEC rule that none of us ever think that much about, the Howey test. But it's a big win for this industry, regardless of the political landscape. They spent the money, and you're seeing it pay off, a month or so into this new administration.